Hey guys, thanks for tuning into another video. I saw this quote by Dave Filoni, tweeted about it, and then I found this article, and I guess he was on a podcast, and he said some stuff that... Let's just get into it. There's a lot of issues here. Everyone can become a Jedi. Ahsoka showrunner explains how Sabine's Jedi plot blows the Force wide open. This is what we want, guys. We want everything that we love to just be changed. That's why we like Star Wars, is because people take it and completely change it into something else. Dave Filoni, the showrunner of Ahsoka, has explored Sabine Wren's Jedi origins in a way that potentially opens the Force up to more Star Wars characters. Then first thought. More Star Wars characters. Okay, so just more Jedi. By the time Ahsoka Season 1 ending, undoubtedly the biggest surprise of the entire show was the new Jedi character introduced. Despite Star Wars Rebels hinting that the Mandalorian character of the show does not have an affinity for the Force, Ahsoka officially made Sabine Wren a Jedi. And that's a clear example right there of Dave doesn't have a plan. Dave is just another one of these people that fits into Lucasfilm where there's no plan, there's no nothing. It's quite obvious she wasn't a Jedi in Rebels. These guys can see that. Most people see that. And yet... here she is. So he just kind of on the fly just makes stuff up. I think he just thought, well, let's just have another Jedi. So now out of his Rebel characters, 3 of them are Jedi now? In light of this interesting turn of events, Filoni has addressed the plot point with the filmmaker's appearance in the Dagobah Dispatch podcast. When asked about Sabine's story in Ahsoka, undoubtedly set to continue in Ahsoka 2's story, Filoni replied, "The idea that she's not incredibly adept at wielding the Force, I think, is a strong thing. The Force emanates from everyone and everything, all living things, so she's not absent from the Force, she's part of the Force." That's not exactly what George meant when he wrote those lines. That's like saying a blade of grass is going to use the Force. Like, all living things are part of it, but that doesn't mean they can all wield it. Part of the problem is, it's like anything in life that you want to do, you have to train hard to acquire the skills. Unless you're Rey, unless you're Grogu, it's not that everyone can become a Jedi and everyone cannot become a Jedi. So I wanted to tell this story, though she's a very talented warrior, she's a very talented person, but this is not something that's easy for her. And I'm just looking at this quote here and thinking to myself, what planet are you on, Dave? So first you write her as just a Mandalorian warrior, which was cool enough, nobody had a problem with that. Then all of a sudden you can't think of any way to like have Ahsoka train somebody, right? Because it's got to be Jedi Master Ahsoka the White, so she has to have a Padawan, because she's, you know, your pet. And she's the most important character to you. So then you just throw Sabine in there, even though that wasn't the plan from the beginning. And then you say that it's like anything you want to do, you have to train hard to acquire the skills. Sabine doesn't train hard to acquire the skills at all. She uses the Force to save Ezra's life from like 150 meters away, pushing his body up so he wouldn't fall. Like, she's literally without hardly any training whatsoever. Her and Ahsoka had one conversation about a cup on a table, and then all of a sudden she sticks her hands out and Ezra's saved, and she pushes him up to the ship. So he goes back to the original galaxy. That's not an easy, simple thing to do in Jedi lore, in Star Wars lore. Like, you can't just pick up a body and carry it with the Force and push it with the Force that far from that far away that easily without ever doing any real training other than a cup on a table that she failed to do. So I think he thinks we're dumb, and I think he's just... I don't know if he's high all the time or if he's on another planet, but... If it's hard to acquire, why was it so easy for her to acquire? It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, sure, she can't block blasters very well with her lightsaber. Okay, sure. But how was she able to do that? It doesn't add up properly. Like, what he says and then what you see on the screen doesn't add up. The Force may now be changed forever in Star Wars. As evident from Filoni's comments, this concept changes what is known of the Force throughout Star Wars history. Yeah, it's a retcon. In the past, characters like Rey, Luke, Anakin have spawned from very powerful bloodlines, or even the Force itself. However, Filoni's belief is that anyone can become a Jedi, regardless of bloodline, birthright, or innate strength. This is another thing that a lot of people do. They try to shoehorn the whole bloodline thing onto people, like... They bring up Rey, Luke, and Anakin. Okay, what about Mace Windu? What about Obi-Wan Kenobi? What about all the other Jedi? Like, it's not as if there aren't other Jedi, right? Like, what about Yoda? Like, all of those Jedi also have high midichlorian counts. All of those Jedi also were from genetic lines that obviously made them more adept in the Force. What's wrong with that? It doesn't mean you can't have more Jedi. Like, you just make up another Jedi and he's more adept in the Force and he's got a genetic disposition that helps him do that. What's wrong with that? Like, what is wrong with that? However, Filoni's belief is that anyone can become a Jedi regardless of bloodline, birthright, or innate strength. But that's stupid. You need to have innate strength. You need to. Like, this is so dumb. As seen with Sabine's Ahsoka story, Filoni still respects the midichlorians, means those with natural skill will find it easier, though Lucas's apprentice also believes that with enough difficult training, anyone can tap into the Force, as the Force taps into everyone. If that was the case, why would Yoda go into exile? He could have just grabbed some dude off the street, right? Like, Obi-Wan could have been training other people on Tatooine. He could just pull anybody. This is the dumbest thing ever. This retcons everything. It makes nothing make any sense in the past. How in the world can you do this and not think about those things? It just makes everything nonsensical. Oh no, he's our last hope. Well, no, he's not. Just fly to Coruscant and find some street person and give them a place to live and some food and train them, Obi-Wan. Like, it's just... Or Yoda, whoever. Like, it just ruins everything. How does he not see this? It's so stupid. And again, she didn't really train at all and was still able to use it pretty good, actually. Interestingly, these comments from Filoni can change how the Force is presented in upcoming Star Wars. It means it sucks. Namely, through Rey's Jedi Order movie. Yeah, she might as well literally have like 1,000 people. You don't have to be selective anymore. Then think about, too, the Force sensitives in even the video games like Jedi Fallen Order and the Holocrons and all the comic books and all the things that are canon that have to do with lists of Force-sensitive children and things like that it just doesn't even matter now. So Rey doesn't have to go around and actually have a story arc where she has to find another Force-sensitive person. She can just grab anybody. It just takes away... It's just awful. He's now the chief creative officer at Lucasfilm. He will have input on Rey's next Star Wars adventure in light of Filoni's comments about Sabine. It could be the case that Rey's Jedi Order is rebuilt with students from all different walks of life. No. See, again, this is not a diversity thing. No. George Lucas's Jedi in the prequels were very, very diverse. It has nothing to do... Anyone can be a Jedi. Wookiees can be Jedis. Any alien can be a Jedi. They just have to have a disposition and a genetic gift in them. Rather than consisting of those with high midichlorian counts or those tied to special bloodlines, Rey's Jedi Order could include more people like Sabine. That's dumb, though, because, again, well, according to Filoni, it's hard to learn, and somebody with a low midichlorian count like Sabine, it would take forever for her to train, even though she was able to use it pretty quickly anyway, with basically no training. In his words, it would take forever to train that person because they don't have the natural gift. Why would you waste your time with somebody like that? Like, there's real threats out there. You're not going to spend 100 years training a Sabine. It's just so stupid. Rey could be dedicated to helping all children access the Force. Showing the long years of training it takes to tap into the energy field. So basically this is, when everyone has the Force, no one does.
And when everyone's super, no one will be.
Dave Filoni, he's literally Syndrome against Star Wars. Like, he's literally like, the evil Syndrome is running the Star Wars universe right now. That's literally what's happening. This is so stupid. And his own words contradict, because she didn't train and she could do it anyway. This whole thing is so stupid. What are they doing? What are they thinking? I can't understand the mentality behind these people right now. It just makes no sense. It's not interesting. It's not interesting that everyone can be a Jedi. That's not interesting. What was interesting was that Obi-Wan was protecting this boy that had a high midichlorian count, whose father was bad, whose father was a Jedi, and it was interesting to see what would happen with him. If he was just a random nobody and anyone could do what he did, it sucks. It makes it suck. This is like commie level, dumb, everyone's the same, blah, grayness. It sucks. It's not interesting. You guys let me know in the comment section what you think. This totally blows. I can't believe Filoni, the stuff that comes out of his mouth compared to what he actually writes and what he actually puts on screen. It's so insane to me. I can't even believe it. I can't believe this is the guy running Star Wars now. It's just, I'm so happy for Favreau kind of quietly exited the building like Homer going into the bush, because this is so stupid. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comment section what you think. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Feel free to check out anything else on my channel. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have a really good day.